Hello everyone, I'm coming in front of you to discuss a very important issue. And so please watch the entire video and afterwards let me know what your thoughts are. And I will be giving you more information on how you can connect with me. So let me begin. Congressman Jonathan Jackson, in a recent town hall, he declared that Illinois is a sanctuary state. And Congressman Jonathan Jackson obviously is a congressman from the state of Illinois. And it seems to me that he's very proud of that designation. He's proud of the sanctuary state designation that Illinois has. Now, previously I've talked about the city of Chicago, which is a sanctuary city. And we know it's a sanctuary city. And if you have not watched my previous videos, then please do so. Check out my previous videos on this YouTube channel. And in several of those videos, I have discussed issues that people in Chicago are facing. And I've talked about Chicago's sanctuary city status. So having said that, let me tell you, Chicago, the city of Chicago does not represent the collective mindset of the entire state of Illinois. The state of Illinois is a very big state, and Chicago is one city. There are many other cities, villages, and towns in Illinois. And Chicago is one of the largest cities in America, and I understand that it's such an important city in the state of Illinois, but Chicago does not represent the entire state of Illinois. There are some conservative parts in the state of Illinois, but overall, as we all know, the state leans to the left. So the state is liberal leaning, which is why Illinois is known as a blue state. Blue state means a state that leans to the left. Red state is a state that leans to the right, so more conservative. And the state of Illinois, in spite of having diversity of views and thoughts, in spite of having Democratic heavy communities and Republican heavy communities, overall, the state of Illinois leans to the left. But still, let me tell you, Chicago, the city of Chicago itself does not represent the entire state of Illinois. Chicago is an urban place. There are many rural parts of Illinois. There are many rural communities in Illinois. So the priorities and the challenges of a big city like Chicago will not be the same as the priorities and challenges of rural communities in the state of Illinois. Congressman Jonathan Jackson, he represents a district that overlaps with the city of Chicago. He represents part of Chicago. So obviously, he's trying to make Chicago's problem a statewide problem in Illinois. Chicago is a sanctuary city. He's calling Illinois a sanctuary state. And what he's asking is for the rest of the state of Illinois to step up and help with the surge of migrants. Congressman Jackson is asking people in the rest of Illinois to help because of the surge of migrants that Chicago is experiencing. Now the question is, what exactly would the rest of the state have to do to help as migrants keep arriving? We all understand it's mostly about funding and resources. Now the American people, they do not have financial resources to help with the surge of migrants. American people are struggling. People in Illinois are struggling in this economy. Loss of jobs, layoffs, inflation. And there are many other problems. And so people are in pain. And I understand that many migrants who are arriving, who are coming to Chicago, they are also suffering. They are also suffering. Many migrants are having to sleep on the floor. Many migrants are, they don't know what what their future has for them, because there's so much of uncertainty. Now, Chicago is a sanctuary city, but as the migrants keep coming to Chicago, the city is running out of housing options. So there's no more room to house the migrants. So a lot of migrants are in great pain. And as the colder months are coming, there are questions about where will the migrants be housed in the colder months when people cannot be outside because the temperature is going to be freezing. And so I understand the pain that the migrants are going through. And what I will tell you is that this crisis, this overall crisis, this border crisis, this migrant crisis, this lack of funding, lack of housing, lack of resources, this entire crisis could have been avoided if the Biden administration would enforce our nation's immigration laws. If the Biden administration would secure the southern border, if they would keep the southern border secure, if the Biden administration would prevent the massive influx of migrants through the southern border, if the Biden administration would prevent that massive influx of migrants, then this crisis could have been avoided. The crisis that people are facing in Chicago, the crisis that people are facing in New York City, the crisis that people in Denver, in Houston, in Los Angeles, the crisis that people in these big cities are facing because of the influx of migrants, this crisis could have been avoided only if the Biden administration would enforce our nation's immigration laws. So back to Illinois. Let's talk about Mayor Brandon Johnson. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, along with some other big city mayors, asked the Biden administration for $5 billion. Not million, billion, billion with a B. They asked for $5 billion to address the issues pertaining to the surge of migrants in their cities. So these mayors asked for $5 billion. And now Congressman Jonathan Jackson wants the rest of the state of Illinois to step up to help. How exactly will the American people help? People are struggling to make ends meet. People are struggling to put food on the table. People have lost their jobs. They are suffering because of economic uncertainty. So people don't have the resources to be able to help. And the $5 billion that the mayors asked for, where is this $5 billion going to come from? The pockets of American taxpayers. The federal government doesn't have its own money. Whatever money the federal government has, that's taxpayer money, American taxpayer money. So if the federal government allocates $5 billion to provide to these big cities, that's $5 billion coming from the pockets of American taxpayers. And what Congressman Jonathan Jackson is asking for, he's asking for the people in the rest of the state of Illinois to step up and help. He's basically asking for more funding and more resources to provide housing and services to the migrants. Where will that money come from? The pockets of American taxpayers. And so in this process, the American people are being left behind. The American people are suffering because of financial problems, because of economic uncertainty. American citizens and legal immigrants are suffering because of the surge in the number of undocumented migrants. So this is where we are as a country. We are struggling, we are suffering, and politicians in Illinois are asking for more money, more resources from American taxpayers. It seems to me that there is no end to their demands. What about some relief for the American taxpayers? What about some tax cut? What about we focus on addressing domestic issues like healthcare? In this country, we have an aging population, and many senior citizens are struggling to make ends meet. Many senior citizens have fixed incomes, but their expenses are going up because of inflation. And we know that as people age, they are likely to require more healthcare services because of healthcare needs. And so that's something we need to address. We need to make sure that the seniors are taken care of and that they have access to high quality healthcare services that they need. So that's something we should focus on. What about homeless veterans? There are veterans who have served our country and yet they are suffering and they are homeless. We need to address that issue. We know that many children in America today are suffering because of food insecurity. And let me talk about Gen Z, Generation Z. Many young folks from Generation Z are struggling to establish their professional careers. Millennials are struggling to afford homes. So how about we focus on helping Americans? My friends, share with me your thoughts. You can go to my website, tausifanam.net, and you can send me a message. You can also connect with me on social media. You will find me on Facebook, you'll find me on Twitter, you'll find me on Instagram. I'm also providing you my email address. You can email me if you want. My email address is tausif, that's my first name, tausif, at tausifanam.net. Once again, my email address is tausif at tausifanam.net. So you can email me and share with me your thoughts. And before I conclude today's video, let me tell you that if you go to my website, tausifanam.net, and if you click on the published opinions section, you will see that there are 97 pieces of writing, letters to editors and op-eds that I have written that were published in various newspapers. 97 published writings. I have the links to those writings on my website in the published opinions section. And with 3 more published writings, I will be reaching, hopefully, a big milestone of 100 published writings, and that's since 2019. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of my writings being published in the days and weeks to come. Thank you for all the words of encouragement, and thank you for your good wishes. I appreciate that very much. Please stay connected with me, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and share with me your thoughts. Send me a message, let me know what your thoughts are. Share with me your views and opinions. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope to be back again soon with a new video. Thank you.